Hey friends and foes, welcome to Brushwork Podcast. My name is Stephanie Scott, and today we're talking about that time I made a personality quiz. In March of 2023, I was thinking to myself, you know what? It would be fun if there was a little quiz that got people to go to my website and maybe buy a print or two. I was searching around, looking at people's quizzes on their websites and thinking about what would be fun and interactive for people who, show up to stephaniescott.art, that they could do something and, have a little fun 5-minute break along the way. I came up with a personality quiz, and this is going to be a quiz that said, what color palette matches your personality? It was extremely dorky, and I think that's the joy of it. I was thinking about BuzzFeed quizzes and how they have a bunch of pictures, and it's like, if you vacationed at this place, which one would you pick? And it was just like 9 pictures of beach houses that all looked kind of similar. And then by the end of it would tell you some like searing, soul-searching item about your personality where you're like, oh yeah, that does fit me and my personality. I learned a lot about quiz making while doing this. And I also learned a lot about how people visit websites while doing this. The quiz generator, the quiz platform that I used is OpinionStage. That's opinionstage.com. I will have that linked in the show notes. You can do free quizzes and you can see a lot of results about how people are using your quiz in real time, which is very, very fun. I chose a theme of what color is your personality because I was thinking, okay, what do I have on my website that people could be matched to? And obviously it's paintings. I have a lot of abstract geometric paintings. They come in bright candy colors. There's a huge variety. And I thought, okay, if I made a list of colors, of 12 colors, and I attached one of my paintings to the results of each one of these colors, and I wrote up a little description about what that color might mean in personality terms, that would be super fun. Recently I learned that in order for someone to buy your product or artwork, they have to see it like 16 times and like 16 positive experiences with it. That's a lot of times. And having a quiz like this that you could just take over and over and over again is getting people to look at my artwork and become really familiar with it. And that's what I wanted. This is like psychological games here, but I wanted people on the website and I wanted people looking at the artwork. Okay, so we're winning. We're winning overall. I'm going to go through with you how I put together this quiz, what the results are, and what the results of the results are. Like what people are clicking on the most, if I've seen any sales sense from the quiz, what kind of results I'm getting on my website for traffic, things like that. This is going to be an extremely nerdy episode, so I hope you like it. This also might be short and sweet, but overall, if you want to take the quiz and see what it's like, that link is also in the show notes, and you should take it. It takes like 5 to 8 minutes to play, and it's distracting and interesting and fun. Okay, so first, right off the bat, we have the title. What color palette matches your personality? I think that you need a really catchy hook for this kind of quiz, right? Like, you need something so silly that it's like, okay, I'm not going to take this seriously, but also fun enough they're like, I could spend 5 minutes doing this, right? So, what color palette matches your personality automatically knows, okay, you're going to get a color palette at the end of this, and it's going to be something of Stephanie's artwork. As the subheading, I had, what color matches your inner personality? It's very important that we find out. It's 2 sentences, it's short and sweet. And then on the cover of the quiz, it has a picture of me working on a painting, right? So they're looking at me, they're looking at one of my artworks already before they've even started the quiz. They click, let's begin, and then they get the questions. I've got 12 possible results for what color palette you can be. And I'm going to read them out after I read the questions, because the questions are the funnest part. Question number 1 was, what is your biggest pet peeve? What I love about OpinionStage, and this is not an ad for this website, is that it's very easy to find photos for what matches your description. So for this first question, what is your biggest pet peeve? I had dogs barking, transportation being late, empty containers in the fridge, and people trimming their nails in public. And then I was easily able to find pictures that go with that solution or the options. For this first question, it's so funny to see the results of this. 30% of people decided that empty containers in the fridge was the biggest pet peeve. But in a close tie, and for second place, it was late transportation and people trimming their nails in public. side note, all of these options are my biggest annoyances, so it's kind of like a personality quiz about other people, but also it's like, let me tell you about Stephanie. The next question I did was a straight copy from a BuzzFeed quiz I took, where it would be, where would you vacation? I had 6 options, and they were a beach cabin, a treehouse, a city apartment, an ocean resort, a theme park, and a national park, like the Grand Canyon. And for this one, we had 3 overall winners at 16 votes each. People loved the beach cabin, the treehouse, and the national park. The theme park was like, only 3 people wanted this, and I'm like, that's pretty funny. When I was doing this quiz, you can associate each answer with different results at the end for each color palette that you have. And you can do more than one. So for the treehouse, it's associated with the colors green, purple, and blue, and then negatively with every other color, which is kind of fun, right? Versus the ocean resort was really associated with gold, neutrals, and pink. Kind of fun, right? I chose these pretty randomly and thought a little bit about what color actually represents like a beach cabin and a city apartment, but I wasn't thinking too heavily about it, right? I gave myself overall maybe 2 hours to make this quiz. It was very fun on my end. My third question was my most fun question. So this one was, let's test your intuition. I had 12 answers, 12 options here that all had the same picture. And they just said answer 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 12. I gave each color to be highly associated with one answer. And everyone's intuition, it's amazing how many people picked the same option. By far, the most picked option was number 7 and 8. 7 and 8 had the most clicks. And the option, the intuitive answer, was with the least amount of clicks was number 2. I don't know why that is, but it's fascinating and it's very fun and I love it. My fourth question was, what is your ideal breakfast? What I love about quizzes like this is that they don't have to have a whole lot to do with your paintings or your prints or whatever you're selling. They can be just fun and interesting. And I think if you keep it really different and then they get their color at the end, that's a part of your painting, it's just perfect. So this one was, what was your ideal breakfast? I had the options of cereal/oatmeal, shakshuka, coffee or tea, pastries, waffles, cheese seed pudding, nothing/fasting, fresh fruit, or a protein shake. People loved waffles and pastries, and I think that's because most of my test takers are from the United States. Personally, my favorite breakfast is oatmeal. I have that almost every day, like fancy oatmeal, not just like only oats. That would be boring. I put fruit on it. I put all sorts of things on it. It's delicious. And it's great. And I love that people love waffles/pastries as their breakfast option. Coming in second place was coffee and tea. Do you have just coffee or tea in the morning? I can't do that. Okay, question 5 was, what is your favorite fashion aesthetic? I had 12 options here, and I'm just going to read them out. It was dark academia, vintage, cottagecore, fantasy, goth gamer, coastal, pop, neutral, punk, glam, sophisticated, and number 12 is what's fashion? Which each of these I associated a different color. I picked 1 major color and 2 minor colors that it was associated with. Of all the people who love my artwork, they loved dark academia and punk fashion the most. They were almost tied. I love this. It's so fun and interesting to see what kind of people who like your artwork, how they dress or how they want to dress. That's fascinating. When you're doing a quiz like this, you could also curate the questions to be like, to tell you more about who your client is, right? What do they like other than your artwork? And sometimes it's obvious, but sometimes with abstraction, it can be a little bit more deceptive. Notably, no one loves poppy colors, which is very fun. They're like, we don't love modernism, we don't like pop, and I got 0 votes on that one. Love it. Question number 6 was, how much water have you had today? And I had a few fun options here. Answer number 1 is none, 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups. I am a fish, meaning I drink water constantly and I don't stop. And then answer number 6 was, does it count as water if I'm on my second pot of tea? Which is just calling myself out, because I drink so much tea every day. It's a little bit ridiculous. Are you a 1 pot of tea person or a 2 pots of tea person? Most people are hysterical and said, I am a fish, meaning they've had more than 4 cups of water already since taking that test that day, which I love and I appreciate. Question number 7 was, what kind of fiction books do you prefer? I wanted to know, what kind of stories do people like? Because the answer is going to start dictating how I'm naming my titles of my pictures. I was like, do you like romance? Do you like fantasy? Do you like thriller / heist books? Do you like mysteries? Cozy books? Sci-fi? Do you like YA? Do you like poetry? Do you like historical fiction? And the answers were very clear. People loved sci-fi and they loved fantasy in an overwhelming amount. Only 1 person liked YA, only 3 people liked poetry, and everything else was kind of middle ground, but people loved fantasy and they loved sci-fi. And I think that really fits with my abstract geometric work. It's very fantastical, it's very science fiction-y, and I think I need to lean even heavier into my themes around that in the future because they really fit together. My last question is number 8. It's very, very fun. The last question is, which color do you hate? And with this one, I listed out all of the options that you could get as a result from this quiz. And if someone clicked, say, orange, they would get an association with every color that is the opposite of orange. They would get green, blue, purple, dark, or pastel. Say they said they hated blue, they would get lots of oranges, reds, yellows, sometimes greens, and then like golds and browns and neutrals. Anything that feels like the opposite of blue or whatever color that they picked, they would get more of a result towards. Very fun. Okay, so people said they hated neutrals the most. They hated browns. They were like, browns are the worst. And they also didn't like yellow, which is very interesting to me. As a fun joke, I put that if you said red was your least favorite color, that you would also get lots of red points and probably get red as an answer, because that seemed a very red thing of someone to do. After people had finished answering those 8 questions, they were then given a result, and I have 12 results. I'm going to read them out to you, and I'm going to read the descriptions out to you that I wrote, and why I kind of wrote them that way. Result number 1 was orange. This is the color of energy and creativity. Orange is boldness, gentle warmth, and kindness. You aren't afraid of picking up new hobbies and new projects, even if it might be hard for you to commit to them. Under this one, I had Sunglasses On Baby, which is a bright orange star of a painting. It is very beautiful, and I say check it out in the Broken Symmetry Gallery, because that's what it is part of the collection of. And then, most importantly, after all of these results, I say thanks for taking part of the quiz. Here's a gift for you. I gave them a 10% off coupon. It's color 10, and it's 10% off of everything in my shop. I've made it so that this gift code never expires. People can use it again and again if they remember to use it. And I've done this for every single option. That way, people will copy the code and then go right over to my store and look at what's there. And maybe they'll decide to use it because I've got 10% off. It's very fun. Option number 2 was red. Red is the color of grounded initiatives and truth. It is heat, connection with the planet. It's your inner fire. Sometimes it might be hard for you to pause and see what's beyond the immediate. Let this image be a reminder that you've got the fire within to accomplish your goals. Yellow. You are yellow. Sometimes you're contrary. You've got the delight of the ordinary and the willingness to take chances. Let this image remind you of your inner light when dark days are ahead. With yellow, I signed Dandelion. You are green. When you love big. Green is exploration of the body and your own self-improvement. It's living a life to the fullest, and it's a priority to you. Let this image remind you to water your plants, metaphorical and literal, and to feel your own greatness. Green is associated with willow. Willow is a painting I did for the non-geometric abstraction gallery. We had blue. Blue is the color of trust, voice, flexibility, and force. You are uniquely equipped to shape your future and achieve your goal. A rock in your way will wear away in time with your motivations. Let this image be a reminder to stay playful in the waves that you create and studious in the depths you reach. Here I put high tide. Next we have purple. Purple is the color of intuition and mystery. For this one, I made sure that if people chose a specific number in the intuition category, that purple just like went off the charts. Like you would really, really get purple. You have no trouble getting into trouble. In the long run, you know what's best for you. Let this image be a reminder of how important your dreams are to you, and that ignoring them is stifling yourself. On that answer, I put NYX, which is a very purpley painting. It's very mysterious and dark. Result number 7 is dark. This is more of a tone than a color, but remember, this is a palette, so you have a dark palette. This one says, we live half in the daytime, half at night. You're all the wondrous dark tones of every color. Heated maroons, the deepest of indigos, the inside of a pine tree. You specialize in helping other people shine, and are careful with your own emotions. Let this be a reminder that sometimes you need to ask for help, and other times you will need to provide it. Here I have the painting 5 of Coins, which is part of my tarot card series, and I love it. It's very dark and moody. Result number 8 is Pastel. Daydreaming is more fun with friends. Whimsy is the name of your game, and aesthetics matter most. You've got an eye for design and are prone to changing your mind. Kite is the painting I associated with Pastel. It's very light and airy. Has some gold going through it. It's super fun. Result number 9 is a Rainbow. It's giving, why have one when you could have it all? It's giving everyone go home. It's past 9 p.m. It's giving, I'd like a snack and a nap after all this nonsense. Rainbow, you are here for feeling good and feeling fine. You're not for everyone, and that's okay. Like calls to like, and you know who your people are. Here I put my most rainbow image, which is Celebrate. And again, it has a code for a discount, which is great. Result number 10 was Gold. And here I put one of my paintings that was on an all gold background. This one says, is drama your middle name? As a gold person, you love all things that sparkle and shine. The tea's not being spilled unless you were there pouring it. You prefer things move fast and with some flair. So here I put the tower as the image. Result number 11 is Brown/Neutrals. This one says, you are the coolest cat on the block. Nothing ruffles your feathers. Neutrals make you feel luxe, and you can appreciate contemporary moment in your home. I bet you're about to have a really great hair day. This one I have Neapolitan, which is a commission I did. And the last one was Pink. What is life without humor? Candy colors, late nights, and neon are the name of the game for you. You are the life of the party and very charismatic. I think it's time for a Legally Blonde rewatch. So here I put Bubblegum, which is a recent painting I did. And again, the discount code. So overall, I've got really, really awesome things for this quiz. I had almost 600 people start the quiz. About 200 of them finished it, and I got lots and lots of results. It took people about 4.5 minutes to complete the quiz. Lots of people looked at it. Many people played it more than once, which is very, very fun. After that, I had so many hits to my shop. In the first, week that I had the quiz up, people were going to my shop from the quiz very, very, very often. I think I'm almost doing something right here because while people were coming to the shop, no one has used the discount code yet. So in one way, I'm like, okay, I'm giving this discount code out very freely. In another way, though, it's probably not enough because people aren't buying a print. I think this is very telling about my shop because people do the quiz, they're excited, they go to it, but there's something about the shop that isn't quite getting people to say, yes, let's add this to cart, and then yes, let's actually purchase it. I have more work to do here, and I think it's really important to recognize where your good ideas were good and where they fell flat. So I'm going to be reworking my shop some more in the next couple weeks or probably months and see what I can do to either take prices down, put up more accessible artwork, or have a different layout to get people to be like, ah, yes, I need that painting in my house. It's destiny. I need it. A lot of being an artist is learning how to do sales in a way that is sustainable and repeatable and just generally great for your art business. So that's the time I made an art quiz. Other things that I've done with it is that I have put the quiz into my welcome new subscribers list on my email marketing. I've done blog posts about it. I've shared about it on Instagram. It's been very handy, and it definitely gets a lot of people to my website. I noticed in the first week of having it up, I had a lot more mobile users, which is interesting because my website normally gains desktop users. Usually they come from Twitch when I'm streaming, or they're on their desktop and that's where they visit. Usually it's like 70%, so quite a bit. If you're looking to do a quiz like this, I highly recommend Opinion Stage. There's also many other quiz things there where you can make a quiz and then embed it to your website. You can customize it quite a bit. It looks really good. You don't have to pay for it. We love it. It's a win-win. I recommend doing it. Have something where people are like, okay, I want to do your quiz. And then you're like, to see results, you have to sign up to my mailing list. Those are options you could do also. I decided to have mine just for free and give them a discount code. That way they would go to my shop just immediately. It was very fun. I love doing this. Would recommend 10 out of 10. That's all I got for y'all today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Brushwork, and go take the quiz. It's quite fun. I mean, now you know all the answers, but I want to know which color palette is yours. And if you would leave a comment on this podcast post, I would be delighted to know what color you are. And if you want to do me a favor, I would really appreciate a 5-star rating in whatever podcasting app that you use. It helps the podcast out, and it helps me reach more artists just like you. You can find me at stephaniescott.art on Instagram. You can find the podcast at brushworkpod over on Instagram. Or my website is www.stephaniescott.art. And you can see all the wonderful pictures and the quiz for yourself. I hope you have a fantastic day. Make good choices, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!